morning, friends. So this is again Dr. C.H. Kiran Kumar dealing with the machine learning. The first chapter in this machine learning is the ingredients of machine learning. Now again, go back to the definition of machine learning. What is ML? Machine learning is a field of study that gives computers the capability to learn without being explicitly programmed. The ability to learn. So very important, you see, it looks like a quotation. It looks like a quotation, but this is all about machine learning. Machine learning. The name itself suggests that learning, machine learning is the field of study. The field of study. What do you mean by study? Analyzing is called study. Analyzing is called study. The difference. Analyzing is called study. Now that gives computers the capability to learn without being explicitly programmed. This is called machine learning. To see in detail, if we go into deep, see what is ML. Previously, why ML was not there? Now, why today ML? Now, previous, maybe before 10 years or 15 years, there was no data. Data might be available in books, but data would not be available in maybe SQL files or Excel files, something like that. But today, voluminous data is available in the form of, if you go to a super bazaar, they used to give bills. If you go to a petrol bunk, previously they used to write a bill, but now they are giving a computer generated bill. So whenever they are giving you a bill, that means they are storing the data inside the computer. That means voluminous data is available. Now ML is the program which analyzes this particular data, and gives you a summary report. Malli cheptunnanandi, machine learning is the study of the world, the study of the data. Our data ni chadivi, analyze chesi, oka summary report ivvali. That is the purpose of machine learning. So, based on that summary report, AI comes into existence and decision making will be done. This is called machine learning. The major part of this is study. This is called study. Machine learning is the field of study that gives computers the capability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Pratidaniki program rayalsina pani ledu. So it automatically has to take some decisions based on the data. Data ni analysis. New data vastuntadi, aa data ni access chestaru. So again, the same. This is called machine learning. Now, what are the tasks, or what tasks can be solved with machine learning? What tasks can be solved with machine learning? This is the question. We have already seen spam email recognition. What do you mean by email? Email means, I think we all might be knowing, right? There will be inbox and there is another folder called as spam. There are two folders, namely inbox and spam. Now we usually check inbox, and we usually erase all the mails in spam without even looking at what sort of mails that are there in spam. So how it is done? This is the main question. How it is done? No, this is called binary classification. See, binary means two, my dear friends. Binary means two. So here the problem is whether you have a spam mail or not spam, that's all. It's a good mail or spam mail. That's all. Only two results. Only two results. That type of classification is called as binary classification. Binary classification antaru. There are only two classes, my dear friends. This is called binary classification. So here we use ML, machine learning, because ఎవరో నొక్కితే అది స్పామ్ కింద వెళ్ళాలి, ఎవరో నొక్కితే అది మెయిన్ లోకి వెళ్ళాలి అనేది కాదు కాన్సెప్ట్. కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటి? ఆటోమేటికల్లీ whenever an email comes to your mail, the mail owner, that is Gmail, has to check whether the mail is a spam or an important one. This is the mail owner has to check. ఎలా చెక్ చేస్తారు? By using machine learning tools. Machine learning tools ద్వారా చెక్ చేయవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ ఏంటి? Binary classification is the method used for that. Binary classification అంటే ఏంటి? We have only two labels, whether it is true, whether it is good mail or a spam mail. That's all. Then it is called as binary classification. Such problems, but no, this is a small part of spam. Spam identification ఇది ఒకటే కాదండి, ఇంకా చాలా చేయాలి, లేకపోతే we cannot ఇంత పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా రాదు, right? So this is called binary classification. Examples: email spam detection, spam or not. For instance, we may want to distinguish different kinds of ham mails. That is, ham means good. Ham, spam, ham. Spam means unwanted mails. Ham means wanted mails. But now, even in these ham mails, I want to separate private mails and work-related mails. Work-related mails ni, private mails ni separate cheyadaniki kuda we can use the machine learning algorithms or machine learning tools, right? Now, what else? What are the other problems that can be solved with the help of machine learning? See, you can go for train reservation system where waiting list. If there is a waiting list, normally if you get a waiting list, normally suppose if you want to go to Delhi, now you reserve for a ticket for a GT, Grand Trunk Express. Now you got waiting list of say number 15. Now you want to know whether this 15 is will get confirmed or not. Now where will you go? Generally to our relatives who normally travel this and that place, something like that. So we'll be reaching to that particular person and we'll be asking him, sir, so I have this problem. I got 15 waiting list, whether it gets confirmed. So I have 10 days time, whether it gets confirmed or not. So he will tell his experience. He will tell you with his experience that yes, may get confirmed. Normally it gets confirmed, something like that. 80% chance is there, something like that. If that experience is given to a machine, my dear friends, if that experience, that particular person's experience is given to a machine, then you need not go to anybody. You need not go to a relative. You can, whenever you pay or whenever you get waiting list, then you can check there itself. What is the prediction of this? What is the prediction of this? Whether it gets confirmed or not. It says, now also it is available in IRCTC. You can even check now. So prediction, this is called prediction. This is where ML, machine learning, is also used. Now, coming back to the spam email separation. So binary classification we have seen, but here also spam and ham. There are only two tasks: spam and ham. Spam and ham. So spam or ham. For example, even if you want to have you want to separate the mail into three parts. That is spam, work-related mail, and personal mail. if you want to classify that into 3 parts, then binary classification is not enough. You have to go for multi-classification, multi-class or multi-nominal classification. See, if you have 3 or 4 labels in the result, so 3 or 4 labels in the result, then you have to go for multi-class or multi-classification, multi-nominal classification. So we have here 2 learnings. Machine learning is divided, can be divided into 2 parts, my dear friends. One is supervised learning, and another one is unsupervised learning. What do you mean by supervised learning? Supervised, I think you might be knowing, study hour in presence of the teacher, study hour without the presence of teacher. So this is supervised learning. Supervised learning, where you know labels, You want to check, analyze based on some character, like we have discussed about mails, whether it is spam or ham. We want to check spam or yam. So in that case, we can go for multi-class or regression analysis. What do you mean by multi-class or multi-nominal classification and regression? But these two come under supervised learning. Unsupervised learning means, see, we don't know exactly on what field we have to check. We have to separate. We don't know exactly on what. No, we don't know exactly. So, ఏ విధంగా check చేయాలి? We don't know. For example, if you take a supervisor, a customer buys a product. Now, how do you check a product if bought by a customer? What are the other products are being purchased, including that product? But that is, oka customer AC machine konnaru. AC machine to paatu emi kontunnaru adananga. Whether the customer is buying the stabilizer or the customer is buying a cleaning kit. How do you measure this? So there is no character here. So in such is called unsupervised learning. Supervised learning means if you know a character, based on that character, if you want to judge, that is called supervised learning. In supervised learning, we have 2 methods. It is called classification and regression analysis. In unsupervised learning, we have 2 things: cluster analysis and association rule learning. Now, coming to supervised learning. This is called multi-class or multi-nominal classification, my dear friends. Multi-class or multi-nominal classification, right? Multi-class is the problem of classifying instances into 1, 2, or 3 or more classes. If there are only 2 classes, then we call it as binary classification. A classification task is the more than 2 classes. If more than 2 classes, then it is called multi-nominal classes. Classify a set of images of fruits, which may be oranges, apples, or pears, something like this. See, you can't know. Here, very important thing is, one fruit do not come into different labels. A label is an unique one, where an instance will never come into 2 labels. An instance means it comes to either apple or an orange or a pear. See, but not an instance could be orange as well as apple. No, such is not called classification. Multi-nominal classification, multi-class classification means So it is very clear. Labels are unique and instances are also unique. So one instance comes to only one label. One instance cannot be placed in two labels. That guarantee must be there. So this is called multi-classification, multi-nominal classification. We will be reading this particular multi-nominal classification in the next chapters also. This is the introductory part of this machine learning. Here we will be knowing only the basics of this particular methods. In the next chapter, we'll be learning clearly what is classification. Next. So you can also see in the form of a diagram, see, multi-class classification. This is called multi-class classification. All blue, all circles are placed at one place, and all triangles are placed at one place. All plus symbols are placed in another. This is called classification. Classify means different, classify, separate them in different way. That is called classification. Multi-class classification means this is called multi-class classification. So you have labels, plus labels, triangle labels, and circle labels. That is why it is now separating all this. This is called classification, multi-classification. Now, regression analysis. See, this is classification is based on a property, a type. No, regression means, what do you mean by regression? Regression, the difference between regression and classification is, classification is based on the type, based on the type. But regression analysis is based on the different, based on regression is based on some statistical analysis. Some statistic apply mathematical or statistical function or formulae, like find mode, median, slope. Based on that, you come to a conclusion. So such type of analysis is called as regression analysis. For example, if you want to consider, say, how many sales yesterday there was, for a supermarket, sale of rupees 1 lakh. Yesterday sale was 1 lakh. Can you predict what would be the sale for this day? What would be the sale for this day? So ela calculate chestaru? Based on some statistical analysis. Chesi aa statistical entamandi vacharu, how many customers have come yesterday, and how many different priced items were bought. So based on such analysis, see, for example, if you say oka customer vachadu, a customer 3 ACలు తీసుకున్నాడు, 3 ACలు costing around 75 or 80,000. సో ఈ రోజు కూడా ఒకే కస్టమర్ 3 కొనాలని రూల్ లేదు. బట్ అది ఎట్లా సాల్వ్? అదే నంబర్ ఆఫ్ కస్టమర్స్ వచ్చి ఒక 10 మంది వచ్చారు. ఆ 10 మంది యావరేజ్ ఎంతగా కొన్నారు? వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్స్ యావరేజ్? సో మాక్సిమం యావరేజ్, ఒక్క పర్సన్ 75,000 కొంటే ఆ మాక్సిమం యావరేజ్ కాస్త పెరిగిపోతుంది. అలా కాకుండా అలాంటి వాళ్ళని తీసివేసి మిగిలినవి, అది ఎలా పాసిబుల్ అంటే స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ తోటే పాసిబుల్. ఆ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ అనాలిసిస్ తీసుకొని దానితోటి చేసేదాన్ని రిగ్రెషన్ అనాలిసిస్ అంటారు. మై డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, మళ్ళీ let me tell you, right? It is a set of statistical processes for estimating the relationships between dependent variable and independent variables. Dependent variables, often called as outcome variable, and one or more independent variables, often called as predictors and covariates or features. Any different names to పిలుస్తారు. Predictors, covarieties, or features. The most common form of regression analysis is linear regression. This also we will be learning in the next coming. No, one unit is separately designed for learning linear regression. In which, so we'll find out what exactly closely fit. So I just analyzed. No, I just told you the example of yesterday. 10 customers came to the super bazaar. All these 10 customers bought for totally 1 lakh. 1 lakh. Now the question is, how many customers may visit the super bazaar this day based on the yesterday's result, based on the yesterday's data? How many members may come? Okay. Suppose there would be around 10 or 11 or 12, something. Some prediction has to be there. Some 9 or 7 or 8. How do you predict? So based on, right, this is one prediction. The other one is, no, what would be the total amount I am going to receive this day? Yesterday, I received 1 lakh of rupees. What amount I am going to receive this day? No, I am not asking you to tell me exactly like 80,000, exactly like 70,000, laksha, something. I am not asking you. Approximately, what would be the amount I am going to receive today? So now analysis have to be done. What analysis have to be done? Regression analysis have to be done. What is called regression here? We have to apply some statistical median enti, mode enti, standard deviation enti, and by calculating all these things, then see, ఒక example, normal words లో చెప్పాలి అంటే, ఒక పర్సనే నిన్న 75,000 కొన్నాడు, మిగిలిన 9 మంది పర్సన్స్ కొన్నది 25,000. సో ఈ రోజు మళ్ళీ 1,00,000 వచ్చుదని ఎలా ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తావు? ఈ రోజు ఇట్ కుడ్ బి ఆ ఒక్క పర్సన్ రాకపోతే you will be ending up with only 25,000. You will be ending up only with 25,000. So this is where statistics are required, which apply on this data and derive. So oka roju saripodu, previous data okkate analyze cheste saripodu. I want 10 days. So back 10 days information kuda ivandi, so that I can apply, so that ee 10 days lo oka particular person 75,000 కొనకపోతే మిగిలిన వాళ్ళు ఎంత కొన్నారు, ఆ ముందు రోజు ఎంత కొన్నారు, ఇట్లా ప్రతిరోజు ఇలాంటి పర్సన్ ఒకళ్ళు వస్తున్నారా? సో ఇవన్నీ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్, ఇవన్నీ కలిపి some statistics formulas will be applied. Based on that, we will get some summary report. Based on that, we will give the prediction value. This is called regression, my dear friends. Regression. For example, again we can go for our spam email. So for example, I might construct a training set by randomly selecting a number of emails from my inbox and labeling them with an urgency score. So a scale of 0 to 10. Immediate action required. So some regression analysis is applied. Now, the next one is unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, we have two things: clustering and association rules. Association rule learning. We have two things: clustering and association rule. What do you mean by clustering? Clustering means grouping. Grouping is called clustering. There is a difference between classifications and grouping. See, classification means we know the label name, but clustering, we don't know the label. Here we know maybe shape. So clustering is done big pattern. pattern clustering, shape, size, color, behavior. So this type of separation is called clustering antaru. Next, something like this. You can also see here. So this is the raw data. Strawberry, something like this, apples, some. So this algorithm, when these set of fruits are given to algorithm, it separates, clusters them into three different groups. This is called unsupervised learning. Unsupervised. So it is not being separated with the fruit name. Rather, they are being separated with shape. Shape, all circle shapes are called apples are separated. All strawberry shape are separated as, this is called shape-wise separation is called clustering. So we don't know the label, my dear friends. Label లేకుండా ఒక రకంగా ఉండేయన్ని ఒక పక్కకి, ఇంకొక రకంగా ఉండేయన్ని ఇంకొక పక్కకి సెపరేట్ చేయడాన్నే క్లస్టరింగ్ అంటారు. Now, similarly, you can also measure. See, Jaccard coefficient antaru. This is called Jaccard coefficient. Here, males ఉన్నాయి. Males లో చాలా words ఉంటాయి. One male consisting of n words. Now, what are the similarities between two males? రెండు males మధ్యలో similarities ఏంటి? Suppose that one male contains 42 different words and another male contains 112 different words. Now, if the two males are contained, two males, 23 words are in common between these two males. Now, we will apply a formula, 23 by 42, 23 by 42, and 23 by 112. So, totally it gives you 0.18%. So, all 0.1 to 0.2 ఈ పర్సంటేజెస్ ఉన్న మెయిల్స్ అన్ని ఒక క్లస్టర్ తోటి, ఒక గ్రూపింగ్. 0.2 నుంచి 0.3 దాకా వచ్చేవన్నిటిని ఒక గ్రూపింగ్, ఒక క్లస్టర్, అలా సపరేట్ చేయడాన్నే క్లస్టరింగ్ అంటారు. సచ్ క్లస్టర్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ జాకార్డ్ కోఎఫిషియంట్ అని కూడా. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ క్లస్టరింగ్, మై డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్. నౌ అసోసియేషన్ రూల్ మైనింగ్. అసోసియేషన్ రూల్ లెర్నింగ్ లో నేను ఇందాక చెప్పాను, లైక్ if a customer buys, you take Amazon. In Amazon, if you buy, say, one product, say for example, one pen. If you buy a pen, the Amazon site shows you what the other products also you might be interested in along with the pen. Suppose if you buy a shoe కొన్నారనుకోండి, షూతో పాటు he will show you some ఈ షూతో పాటు కొన్ని జనరల్ గా ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ గా ఉంటారు కొనడానికి అని చూపిస్తారు. Such type of learning is called association rule learning antaru. So let me conclude, my dear friends. We have in machine learning, there are two learnings: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In supervised learning, there are two methods we use. One is called classification and another one is regression. Classification analysis and regression analysis. In unsupervised learning, we have two things. One is called clustering and another one is association rule learning. This is about today's class.